I can't even share this under my real username because he keeps figuring out how to bypass my block settings, but I need to vent to someone, and he hasn't discovered this account yet. I was doing some online dating in 2014, chatted with this guy for weeks, then I drove all night after work to spend a couple days blowing off steam, away from the stress of work and life. I was young and naive. I believed almost anything I was told, and boy, he had some stories to tell. I guess I wanted to believe him, even though I should have known that nothing he said was real. I guess, even if I had known, I wouldn't have cared. I was at a very vulnerable point in my life, and I just needed someone to be close to. He saw that, and he took advantage. To make a long story kind of short, we finally met in person, spent the night together. Things were great. Then I went back home. He later claimed that he was disgusted with my appearance because any girl who works all day and then drives all night should look like a model on a runway, right? And that must have been what spurred his decision to tell me that it would never work out between us. I, wanting to stubbornly see things through, convinced him that it was too early to make that decision and waste the weeks of conversation that led up to that point. So we kept our long-distance conversations going for just a little while longer. Eventually, I started to see the cracks in his story, see the shadow of his true nature, and agreed that we weren't right for each other. But he saw things differently. At first, he accused me of being a liar, then a cheater who was still into my ex, and that's why I didn't want him. A switch definitely flipped, and he showed me his crazy side. I blocked his number, ignored his emails, took him off my Facebook, but he still managed to get to me. For every account I blocked, he made 3 more. I started dating a guy local to me, but I moved in with a friend for a few months to help with a renovation, closer to where the crazy lived than I was before, and I ended up filing a report of stalking and harassment with the local police, but by that time, he had started posting lies about me online, on blog sites and cheater sites, about me and pretending to be me, and I didn't feel safe. I moved back to where my new boyfriend lived. It was an all-night drive that he helped me with, and he was just happy to have me home again. I was happy to be home as well, and I finally felt safe again, for a while. But crazy just kept coming. The harassment continued, the posts kept coming, he kept trying to contact me, and even went so far as to post my information online. Phone number, address, social media handles, my place of work, my vehicle info. He was offering to pay for more information on me. He slandered my name all over, and I had to stop my occasional freelance modeling because of it. I had to ask photographers that I work with to remove me from their online portfolios so he wouldn't plaster my body all over these sites devoted to tearing down exes. My boyfriend could have believed all the lies. He could have hated me for what Crazy was trying to put us through, but he didn't. He got protective. He helped me compile a 2-inch binder full of the accounts of slander, harassment, and threats. With the guidance from a lawyer that I had met at karaoke, that's another story. We filed another police report and tried to get a protective order. Unfortunately for me, I was being stalked by a professional. He knew how to cover his tracks, use various aliases, leave threats just veiled enough not to be legally considered threatening, and he also lived 4 states away. And even though it's only a 2-hour flight and he already mentioned my address and what he thought someone should do to me, the judge didn't think he was close enough to be a threat, and he denied the protective order. I tried to keep up with the slander sites for a while, but it just got too overwhelming. There was just too much. Eventually, I got contacted by his apologetic sister and some other exes in a group devoted to stopping the constant abuse that we all faced. It only hurt me more to know that how badly I'd been lied to, and there were more people than just me. Eventually, I just completely shut down and ignored everything and just hoped that it would go away. For the most part, it did stop, for a while at least, and after a year or so of seeing my name and face dragged through the dirt, I didn't fight back, so he got nothing from trying to hurt me. I stayed friends with one of the girls from that group. I changed my number a few times, made new social media accounts, did all the usual things that you're supposed to do. He found a few of them, but I blocked and ignored it all. After a while, there was just nothing. Fast forward to last fall, I'm still with the same man that helped me through the mess before, with a wedding dress in the back of the car and the last of our recently packed belongings. We're moving to a new state for a fresh start. I didn't see it until yesterday, but Crazy tried to reach out again when we moved. A notification popped up on my phone that a cousin sent a message on Facebook, But when I opened the app, it showed an ignored message from someone not in my contacts. It was from him. It has been 4 years, but he's still at it. A quick Google search showed that he'd been posting more stuff about me recently, though not as much as before, all pretending to be me or someone else, then himself again, to look like the victim. It's hard to believe, but then I realized it really isn't that unbelievable. He's done this all before, to me and to others, and it really shouldn't be a shock. I just wonder how much he knows about my new life, or if I should be worried. I can't help but wonder if I'll ever be free of his harassment. Even though I'll never be free of the awful memories, I wonder if one day I'll need to use that revolver that's sitting in my nightstand to protect myself. I wonder if one day someone else will get tired of his shit and do it for me. I wonder, will I ever be truly safe again? About a year ago, I dated a girl. Let's call her B. The relationship didn't last long, but I'm still dealing with her every day. B would constantly compare me to her abusive ex. She'd vent nonstop about all of her friends, then post pictures with them like nothing was wrong. Every time I tried to help her with her mental health, she accused me of trying to change her. It was toxic, confusing, and honestly, just mentally draining. It ended quietly. 2 days of silence, then she exploded. Suddenly, I was public enemy number one. She posted about me to hundreds of people, twisting everything I had ever said or done. She sent me an 11-paragraph message listing every reason I was a terrible person. She blocked me everywhere. I thought that was the end. It wasn't. A week later, a new account followed me. No profile picture, just a random username. Then another, and another. I've blocked at least 8 different accounts that she has made, just to keep her out of my life. But it's like playing whack-a-mole with a hydra. Cut one off, 2 more take its place. She started spreading rumors, telling people I was a special brand of crazy, and that I was a whole mess and a half. It became clear she wasn't just mad, she was obsessed. Now, I'm constantly on edge. I've locked down every account, set everything to private, but I still get this feeling that she's watching, waiting, spinning new lies. I've reported the stalking on multiple platforms. They do nothing. She always finds a way back in. It's bleeding into my new relationship. I have been forced to tell my new girlfriend about her. I told her the full story, much more than I'm comfortable sharing here. I'm honestly just scared that she'll reach out to her, that she'll twist things and say things that never happened, and that she'll poison what I've built. I ended up talking to her so-called abusive ex. It turns out that she made up with him not long after we broke up, only to start trashing him again the moment he stopped giving her attention, just like me. He told me about the other guy that she had done the exact same thing to before he got together with her. We've started a little support group to compare notes, track new accounts, and just try to stay ahead of the whole thing. I'm just waiting, watching the silence, wondering when the next account will show up, when the next lie will spread. But even with the support, even after all this time, I still flinch when I get a new follow request. I still wonder if she's watching from behind another fake name, screenshotting my life, twisting my words in some private group chat that I'll never see. I changed my usernames, switched apps, scrubbed my old posts, and locked everything down. But it's like trying to erase fingerprints from a crime scene you didn't even know that you were a part of. People say just ignore it, and that she'll get bored eventually. But when someone makes you their hobby, how do you ever really know when they're done? And what if they never are? This is a story that's hard to share, but one I need to get off my chest. It's about being naive, deception, and ultimately reclaiming myself. It all started about 3 years ago when I was working my first job at a restaurant. That year, I met 2 men who would change my life, one for the better, and the other in a way I still struggle to explain. When the restaurant was bought out by a bigger company, the staff was turned over and new managers arrived. One of them would eventually become my boyfriend, someone I love deeply to this day. The other, let's just call him the manager, because even thinking about his name makes my stomach turn. He started off just as any other manager, polite, funny, but over time, cracks began to show. After I returned to the job from a brief break, we crossed paths again. At first, we were just work friends, but slowly, he started love bombing me. Endless compliments, gifts, pushing me to work more and more shifts with him. At a vulnerable point in my life, I let my guard down, and I made what I still consider to be the biggest mistake of my life. I trusted him. I believed him. I let him manipulate me into sending things I never should have. He would say things like he had picked me out from the start. He talked about his masks and his multiple personalities like it was a joke, but it was just another warning sign that I didn't see until it was too late. A week after I quit the job, everything unraveled. He messaged me out of nowhere, spiraling. He accused me of hiding our relationship, threatened to tell my boyfriend, and demanded that I choose him. When I refused, he lashed out. He started talking in third person, calling himself Jack the Ripper. He said he was going to find me and my boyfriend. I have never felt fear like that before in my entire life. I was shaking and physically ill. I finally told my boyfriend everything, and despite how much it hurt, he forgave me. That moment saved me, and it saved us. I messaged the manager and told him that he had no power over me anymore. That's when the threats shifted. He said he would report me to my new job, a job where I worked with children. He even threatened to hack my PlayStation account. When I called him by his real name during one of his episodes, he warned me, "Call me Jack, or there will be consequences." I blocked him on everything, deleted all social media, disconnected from everyone who worked at that restaurant, and I went to the police and to my new employer. The police told me that he'd likely move on to someone new, but that didn't bring any comfort. If not me, then who? What do you do when someone says you have to be with them, or else? I didn't know. I still don't. The nightmares didn't stop. Then came the phone calls, 8 or more a day, from random numbers. One day, I got pulled over. Someone had anonymously called the police, claiming that I was driving under the influence. We all know who it was. Months later, just when I thought I could breathe again, I saw him twice in one day. First, while I was driving to a doctor's appointment, I recognized his car instantly. My heart dropped. I called my mom shaking. I took 5 random turns just to lose him. The second time was later in the day. I saw him outside of my best friend's house. He started crossing the street towards us. I grabbed the dogs that we were walking and turned down a side street, my heart pounding. I didn't stop until I felt we were safe. It's been months since then. I'm still in therapy, still healing, but I've started taking pieces of myself back. I visited the restaurant again, just the outside, to see some old coworkers. The next day, I heard he told someone he was uncomfortable with me being around. I laughed, like really laughed, like I was an insane person. I'm not strong enough to go back into that place yet. I don't know if I ever will be. So many of my nightmares take place in that restaurant. I can still remember the way it smells. I can hear the glasses clinking, and he's always in the background lurking somewhere, wearing the same blue manager shirt. It all still haunts my dreams. His presence is always felt, but I'm not running anymore. There's a big festival that includes that restaurant every year. It's so much fun, and it would be the first year that I could go in 4 years, because I had always worked it. My friend invited me, and to be honest, I was hesitant at first, because this is somewhere I knew he would be. But I went, and sure enough, when we passed the restaurant, there he was wearing that same blue shirt. And instead of seeing him from the corner of my eye, like I do in most of my dreams, I looked him dead in the face. I got so anxious, but then I also got angry. I just kept walking and forced myself out of the funk. I will be posting more updates if anything else happens, but for now, this isn't a story of survival. This is a story of reclaiming power that was never his to take. As of this recording, there have been no updates on this story, and her Reddit account has been deleted.